All right, well, welcome to the 2020 Marketing Plan webinar for tree service contractors. I'm very excited that you're here today. It means you're looking forward to growing your tree service business and you want to do it from internet marketing, which really has the most impact in today's world to get more people finding your business and giving you a call. So I'll go ahead and share my screen with you so you can see the slides that we've got prepared for you today. It's going to be sort of an overview of last month's webinar for 2020 Marketing Plan, but we've got a couple of extra nuggets in there to kind of make it a little bit better, a couple extra tips and tricks in there too. So let me share the screen. All right, so here's the slides right here. Hopefully you can see that and you can hear me okay. Every now and then I hit a setting on the volume and I don't even know that it happened. So if you could just pop in the chat box real quick, if you can hear, if you could hear me. I got the chat box open. Just put like, yeah, we can hear you or something like that, if you can in that chat box. Okay, cool. I got it. Appreciate that, Sherman. Okay, so this is your 2020 Internet Marketing Plan for tree service contractors. And we're going to go through pretty much all the elements that you need to have going on, kind of all the lines in the water that you need for your tree service business to get more inbound calls. More people that are looking for tree service, more people are looking for tree trimming, tree pruning, land clearing, forestry mulching, any of those like high ticket jobs that you want more of. We can figure out how people on the internet are searching and then put ads or put your website organically and your map listing in front of them so that you actually get those calls and you get those opportunities to go give these people estimates. So what we're going to cover today is a little bit more than internet marketing as well. It's going to be setting goals for 2020 so that you kind of know what it is that you're going to need to hit your target goal, a revenue goal, how many calls per month type goal. We're going to go over the 3 fundamentals to marketing success for your tree service business, how to optimize your website for conversion in 2020 and beyond, what it all needs to be on your website in order for more visitors to call you. The big picture of all the online marketing channels you should be tapping into to maximize your lead flow on the internet, the latest trends that you need to focus on in 2020. Developed a custom action plan based on where you are now and what you need to do now. And of course, at the end, if you need help with implementation, we are here for you. And what we typically talk about is the digital dominance method. This is how you put multiple lines in the water for your tree service internet marketing. And that way you've got people coming in from all these different angles. But the core principle is to have a good, highly converting website, because a lot of people are going to end up there that call you or that make their mind up that they want to talk to you over the competition. So number one is going to be your website and your search engine optimization, making sure that your titles are correct, the content on your website is correct so that it's going to convert and it tells Google exactly where you are. So for example, if you're in Atlanta, you want the title of your website to be Tree Service Atlanta, Georgia. If you're in Chicago, you want it to be Tree Service Chicago, Illinois. And then afterwards, your business name. Number 2, and not less important, is the PPC elements. You want to make sure that you're getting the clicks and the paid ads up as well, because a lot of different calls come in from there. Number 3, the retargeting. This is retargeting all the visitors from number 1 and number 2. So everybody that lands on your website, everybody that lands on your PPC landing page gets retargeted so that you can convert more of them later. Number 4 is paid online directories, kind of like Yelp or YP.com, Angie's List. There's several of them. Number 5 is repeat and referral, email marketing and social media. Number 6 is pay per lead. So, like the Home Advisor, Thumbtack, you may have some experience with those. And so number 7 is social media advertising. And then number 8 is referral program. So what are you going to offer your current clients for a referral to somebody new that comes into your world? But on this webinar, let's go ahead and focus on this marketing and these slides today, because it's really going to help your business if you're really serious about growing your tree service business, or maybe you have crews and you just don't want them sitting around. You want more calls coming in. This is what's going to help you generate more calls and more leads coming into your business, which is the lifeblood of every business. Turn off Facebook maybe, and if you're serious about doubling or tripling the leads that you pull from your Google ads or your website, your Facebook marketing, your email marketing, the next 30, 45 minutes are going to be critical for you. And I've got my phone off today, so it's not going to be going off. If you stay to the end, we'll give you the ultimate internet marketing checklist for tree service contractors. So it's pretty much like a PDF form that we put together, and it's an outline of all of the elements that you need on your website, on your pay-per-click ads, on your pay-per-lead ads, on your email marketing, all the little tweaks and different things that we're going to go over today, it's condensed into one basically PDF file that we'll send to you right afterwards if you stay to the end. Who am I and why should you listen to me? Well, I've been in internet marketing space for close to 10 years now. We specialize in tree service contractor marketing. We have an expert web development and digital marketing team behind me. Does all of the website development, pay-per-click ads management. We have experts in all these fields. Worked with dozens and dozens of tree service contractors across the United States and know what works to generate a flood of new business. And I'm also a member of the same trade organizations that you are, the ISA and the TCIA. And pretty soon we're gonna have a bullet here of recent author. Got a book coming out called How to Win with Internet Marketing for Tree Service Contractors. And it should be complete this month, or actually next month in February. I was thinking today's already February. So next month the book should be complete. We can mail a copy out to you if you want. It's not too terribly long, but it's very comprehensive in internet marketing for tree service contractors. So I'm excited about that. That's coming out next month. Why the internet? Well, there's been a massive transition from offline to online, yellow pages to the internet. Statistics tell us that more than 77% of consumers go online when they look for tree services, tree removal, tree trimming, those types of searches. And furthermore, there's over 10 million searches every month for tree service and tree removal services. So if you're not getting a lot of calls right now, if you worked on your internet marketing and start showing up for those local searches that are very valuable, you will get your share of those calls. And if you want your share, this is what we're going to talk about today. So this is going to help you increase your sales, enhance your online reputation, drive more calls, leads, and profits for your tree service business, and increase repeat and referral business from your existing client base, your friends, and your family. So number one question is, and we do have a chat box on this webinar today. I know I mentioned it at the get-go just to see if you guys could hear me or not, but there's a chat box here. And so if you have any questions along the way, just pop them in the chat box. And whenever we take a small little break, whenever I'm grabbing a sip of water or whatever, I'll answer that as best I can for you, because I'm sure other people have the same exact question that you do. What's the hardest part so far for you about marketing your tree service business online? And this is anonymous in the chat box, guys, so nobody's going to know that you're posting the question if you did have a question. Okay, so if you had a difficult issue with online marketing, you can just pop it in that chat box anytime. So the old way, people used to just call the yellow pages, or yellow pages would call you probably 3 times a week and ask you about advertising. And so you basically would put your information into the yellow pages. You could buy a double page fold out ad in the yellow pages and get tons of calls, right? That was kind of the old way. These things now are used for bonfires and recycling bins. At least around my house, they are pretty much. So maybe some of the older demographics still use them, but everybody's kind of shifted to the internet. So you got to be on the internet. Where did the customers go? Well, 97% of them are in these spots right here. And Google is about 85% of even that. So you got to be high up on the search results with Google if you want a lot of calls. Bing and Yahoo, yeah, there's still some calls and search volume going on there, but it's only about 10% of the market, 8 to 10%. Google's got 85%, huge monopoly on the search market. Yelp gets a little bit, but that's really more for like local restaurant type stuff. So you can get leads with tree service on Yelp. It just depends on your local market. If there's too many people advertising, then the leads are just going to be watered down in that area. But that's where the customers go. So how do you own the internet in your local area? That's really the question. So a lot of people have tried a few things, like YP.com. Since the Yellow Pages saw the trend and the transition of everybody going to the internet, they started offering their online paid search ads. So, but the only problem is you would have to go to, or the searcher would have to search for tree service your city, find YP.com, and then go and search for a tree service contractor from YP.com. And people just don't generally do that. They just do a search in Google. And so that's where you got to be, is right there in Google. So when people do that search, you want to be up here at the very, very top, and in the maps for the searches like tree service your city, tree trimming your city, tree pruning your city, land clearing, all of those valuable keywords you got to show up for if you want those, those motivated callers. What do they need to do to get their internet marketing right? Well, to get your internet marketing right and really dominate, you got to rank high on the search engines for the tree service related keywords in your area. So if you're in Seattle, Washington, and somebody types in tree service near me, and they're sitting in Seattle, well, Google's going to know that. They're going to show them the results for tree service Seattle. Or if they type in tree service Seattle or tree removal in Seattle, then you want to show up really high on that first page with your website, with your map listing, and also in the paid ads so that you get those calls, right? The more calls you get for people that are doing that search, the more successful you're going to be because they're looking for your services like right at that moment. And they also needed a website that would convert visitors to callers. So it's great to have a website, but if your website's very difficult to find the phone number or it's not mobile friendly, I mean, about 80% of the searches, in today's age is going to be from a mobile device, an Apple iPhone or an Android device. So if it's not mobile friendly, people are just going to bounce off. They're going to cut bait. They're going to go to the next website that they can find a phone number on. So you got to make sure you got a clickable phone number on your website. You got to make sure that it's easy to find. You got to make sure you got contact forms all over that thing too, asking them for their information. What's your name, email, and phone number, and what type of service do you need? That type of thing, free estimates. So yeah, you want to show up really high in that. So if you can see right here, if somebody does a search in the Google bar, you want to be up here in the ads, you want to be in the maps, and then your website needs to be below that if you want to scoop up like a large majority of those searches and calls. So that's how to dominate. We went over this from the beginning. It's your website and SEO being in the maps and on the organics. It's the paid ads for PPC. It's going to be your retargeting, and that's basically just showing ads to people that have already been on your websites already, that did not convert already. Paid online directories, which is Yelp, YP.com, Angie's List. Number 5 is repeat and referral. Number 6 is pay per lead. Number 7 is social media. And number 8 is referrals to your existing customers. Can you kind of see like there's all these different lines in the water that you can have? And by having all those lines in the water, all these people are going to be calling you because they're finding you from all these different places. And that's really what you need. You can't just rely on one, because if you only have one, what if that one stops working as well as it did last month or last year? You want to have multiple lines in the water. So what it means to dominate online for tree service. This is kind of a hypothetical example, but it's a case study of a client. Basically, they started off from about 20 calls per month in 2018, which, if you're already busy with referrals and you're a small shop, then 20 calls a month may get you 10 jobs, or 15 jobs on top of your referrals. But if you have crews, you've got equipment, and you need to utilize all of that, put that stuff to work and make more revenue, provide more value in your local market, tree services, then you need to get the phone ringing so that you can go out and give more estimates, start, booking more jobs and, invoicing more clients. And so in 1 year, they went from 20 calls a month to 80 calls a month and expanded their reach by putting in, an email marketing campaign as well. So when you have a database of your clients, you can send emails with offers. Once a month, send a newsletter. Maybe you have a recent blog post you've done, or something you've done like a charity event. Anything to just kind of send out an email to your database. You guys get emails from us. Same thing. We have a new webinar, a new topic. We want to show you guys. We want you guys to see it. Same thing for you. You want your local customers to see that this month maybe you're doing a charity. Or this month you've got a new blog post on your website that's, it's information. It's information they may want to read about. And they're on pace this year to do $2 million, or actually last year. And so it just really grew because they get a lot more leads, a lot more calls. And then the email marketing as well helps them kind of continue to touch their current customer base. And they went from 6 guys to 12 guys, and the confidence that they have a consistent and sustainable lead flow coming in daily, weekly, and monthly. So question, what would it mean for your business? And you can write this down. You don't have to put it in the chat box or anything, but if you could really scale your lead flow, if you only had 10 or 20 calls a month now, you could go to 80 calls a month in 12 months, or even less than that. It just depends on how aggressive you want to get and how many calls you need, how many jobs you want to go on. What would that mean for your business? Yeah, getting to show up in local search. Yeah, local search is big. you can show up in local search for the maps and for your organics. That's huge, you know, especially if you can show up for multiple keywords. So that's really good. Absolutely. The more searches you show up for, the better, you know, the more calls you're going to get. So let's go over the 2020 Internet Marketing Plan, what you can implement to get that going. So number one is kind of, you know, not the internet marketing strategy, but let's set clear goals as to what you're looking to get. You know, what kind of revenue, what type of, you know, how many book jobs do you want to get? You know, what are your goals for 2020? You know, the old saying is, you know, if you don't know where you're going, you're probably not going to get there. It pertains here. It's the same thing, you know, and if you have a goal and you can just kind of visualize like, okay, what type of revenue do I want to do? Where I'm at right now, let's grow by 50% this year, or let's grow by 30% this year. Let's grow by 100%, let's double. You know, what are the goals? You know, none are too small or too big. It's just a matter of like, what do you want? It's always going to be individual to the business owner. But success is goals, and all else is just commentary. So you got to have goals, and you got to have like written action plans. So if you have clear goals, it's kind of like wind in your sails. You know where you're going, so it motivates you more and more and more to attain that goal. You know, it really does, because you have a map. You know, you have a map, and you're following step by step how to get to your destination. Whereas if you don't have any goals, it's sort of like just sitting out on the open water. There's no wind, and you're just kind of floating in the middle of the ocean, going, hey, you know, I'm not really sure where I'm going, but you know, here I am. You know, so if you want to go somewhere, you got to have those goals, and you got to have a map to get there, as far as generating calls and really, you know, getting more revenue coming through your business. So a Harvard study showed in 1979, they interviewed some graduate students. 84% of the students had no specific goals at all, and 13% had goals, but they didn't write them down. So they wanted some certain things, but they didn't have it written down. And then only 3% had clear written goals and plans to accomplish those goals. So the results was the 13% of the class who had goals, even if they didn't write them down, they just had goals. They had goals where they wanted to go. Were earning on average twice as much as the 84% who had no goals at all. So, you know, it just shows you, if you have goals and you kind of aspire for more, you can attain it. You just have to have the goals, and you got to reach for it. And then even more staggering was the 3% that, you know, had clear written goals. They were earning on average 10 times as much as the other 97% put together. So it just goes to show you, if you write things down, you know, weekly, monthly, quarterly, and yearly goals, you're going to get further and further and further ahead, because you're tracking things. You know, you have goals. So that just kind of, it just really solidifies that. So goal setting framework, you know, you got to have your written goals and plans. You need to set at a minimum, I would say, a 1-year goal. You know, where do I want to be in 12 months? That's a 1-year goal. Quarterly goal, so that's 3 months. So, you know, in 3 more months, like how much more do I want to be doing monthly? And then you have monthly goals. And monthly goals are, you know, you can back those into how many more calls I need, how many more appointments we need to go on, and how many more jobs we need to book. But you must have a stopping point at the beginning of each new year and at the end of each quarter to reflect, you know, like how did you do? And really think about that. Really think about, okay, so I did all these different things this past quarter. We increased by, you know, this percentage or this amount of revenue. How did I do that? And when you really think about it and you back in the numbers of how you got there, you can sort of see the next quarter how to do a little more and a little more each quarter. It's just a matter of breaking those things down and really visualizing them and getting down to a granular level. So what are your goals for 2020? You know, what's your revenue target? You know, is your revenue target $1 million a year? You know, maybe you're already doing 750 and you need to push to get to 1 million. Maybe you're at 1 million and you need to push to get to 1.5 million. Maybe you're at 500,000 and you want to get up to 700 or 800,000. It doesn't matter. Everybody's on a different journey and in a different stage of their business. How much is that monthly? You know, so just like divide it by 12 and see how much that is per month in revenue. How many calls will that require to get that amount of monthly revenue? And then what is your average transaction value? And this is going to differ tree service business to tree service business, because some people focus on commercial, some people focus on tree removals, other people focus on tree pruning more and tree care. So it just really kind of depends on what you do. But let's just go through a little hypothetical number example. So what is your revenue target? Let's say you said, I wanted to do 1.5 million a year. You know, I want to grow to 1.5 million. How much is that monthly? Well, if you divide that by 12, it's 125K per month. What is your average transaction value? So if it's $600, $605, well, then it'll be different if yours is $800 or if yours is $300 or if yours is $1,500. And it just really depends on your business model and who you service the majority of. But how many calls would that require? Let's say that requires 200 calls per month, in addition to the referrals and the repeat business that you're already getting too. So divide that target by your average transaction value. And then you're going to also want to know, what's your average conversion rate from caller to booked call? So if you get 10 calls, how many of those turn into a paying job? If it's cold leads, people finding you from Google, if you've got a really good online reputation, you're a member of the TCIA, you're a member of ISA, you're a member of BBB, you get Angie's List, Home Advisor, and all these really good reviews, then you're probably going to book half of those, those leads. But if you don't have an online presence hardly, or not a lot of reviews or other people to vouch for you, then you may only book 30%. So all this, they're going to differ slightly. So, but divide your call target by your conversion rate. So if you book 50% of the calls that come through to a job, then multiply your call target by your conversion rate, which, like the previous slide showed, 200 calls, and that means you would need 400 leads per month to book that many jobs, for that much revenue. So what is your specific goal for 2020? How many leads will you need monthly to get there? So you'll just have to look at, one of the most important ones is how much is your average transaction value. If you just gather your invoices or look at your revenue for the month, that'll give you a pretty good snapshot. You can go back to a quarter and divide them by how many invoices divided by the revenue and see about what your average invoice is. And then from there, we would look at how many leads you need and how well you're converting those. And I got to tell you, those online reviews on all your channels are going to really, really help. So number 2 is going to be update your marketing message. So this is really important too, because in the home services like tree service or any kind of contracting, you want to have a good marketing message, and the tree service niche is no different. So you want to make sure you have a message that resonates with your audience. So the fundamentals of your messaging is going to be your message, your market, the people in your market, your audience, and then your media, like how you're getting that message across, your website, your landing pages, your Facebook page, your YouTube channel, all those different things. So who is your ideal customer? So we've kind of already figured this out for the tree service niche. And it's pretty similar for any kind of home service business. Your ideal customer avatar, which is going to be, they're going to have the same types of pains and frustrations, fears and implications. They're going to have similar goals and desires. And they're going to have similar dreams and aspirations. It's pretty similar family to family in your target demographic niche, who you're looking to get more calls from, who you're looking to service more. It's pretty similar. So the demographics, typically in the tree service niche, there's going to be a homeowner that's going to want your services. It's going to be 35 years or older. They're established, they got a family, they're working. Typically female, occasionally males, although that can differ depending on the market. Married with a couple of kids, head of household, 65,000 plus annual household income. They're family oriented, they're reliable people, they're easily frustrated if people don't show up and don't hold their word, likes to please people and expects the same in return. Some of their pains and frustrations are dangerous or unsightly trees in their yard, can't get a tree service company on the phone to return their call, need to get tree issue resolved quickly, too busy to deal with it themselves, worried that the situation at the house could be unhealthy for their family, right? So that's something that would be a pain and a frustration for them. Their fears and implications, some of their fears are just, being ripped off or overcharged by a contractor. One of their fears would be paying too much for something they could have gotten elsewhere for a little bit less expensive. Having some damage by, having their home damaged by faulty workmanship, that's also a fear. Having to wait around for the tree guy to arrive at the home, being inconvenienced, trying to coordinate with the tree contractor. So all of your reviews online, if you've got very good reputation on the internet, will help these fears and implications kind of just dissipate, right? They won't even really care about it if they see everybody else vouching for you. A lot of their goals and desires are going to be get the tree issue fixed immediately, right? The goal is going to be to having the issue behind them. They want to move on, having a well-kept home and yard and trees and everything else, taking care of their family, More income, money, wealth, live in a nicer, more luxurious house. Their goals can be drive a nicer car, have healthy and happy kids, be successful, and spend more time with the family, right? So this is your target customers in the tree service niche, people that own their own home, middle to upper class type families. So the old saying, if you can see Joe Jones through Joe Jones' eyes, then you can sell what Joe Jones buys, right? Because whatever he's looking for, whatever he needs, you need to have that messaging on your website, on your media to resonate with that particular customer. So craft your message. What is your message? We'll go over a couple of the unique selling proposition messages up next. And that way you can kind of look, but if you have some that you already know about, you can write it down. There's three little spaces there. Why should someone choose to do business with you versus the competition? What benefits do you offer that your target customer will resonate with, right? That's basically, you just have to kind of know, like, what's your unique selling proposition? That's your message. And these are important because these are going to go on your website, going to go on your Facebook page, different things like that. So here's some messaging that actually works. So we'll go through a few of them. Same day service or emergency tree services, or 24-hour service, or on time service. All these things are going to resonate with people. Oh, these guys say they're going to be on time. That's great because I don't want to wait around all day. Number two, straightforward pricing or upfront pricing or satisfaction guaranteed. Free estimates is also a good one because people want to know what it's going to cost upfront. Number three, trustworthy technicians or trustworthy crews, experienced crews, 25 years experience, licensed and insured, certified arborist. I should have put that on there. Certified arborist, member of ISA, TCIA. Those are great messaging. And it just gives you that trustworthiness that people want to see. People want to see those types of things. And you can also make the case for, fast same-day service, money-saving offers, 24 hours emergency service, friendly service crews. We'll leave your yard cleaner than we found it. That's pretty important, right? You don't want people cutting down trees and limbs and leaving all that stuff in the yard. Dude, if you clean it up nicer than you found it, that's actually a perk. That's really good. Great service, guaranteed. 100% customer satisfaction. Those are also really, really good ones. So now we can look at the media. What's your message? Which one of these are you going to implement on your website? I would say that make sure you get a couple of those embedded on your website or your Facebook page, or anywhere you're putting out like content. Your Google My Business listing, any of those places. It's really important to have some of those messages. It really helps. It really, really does convert more people. So number three, make sure your hub converts. So what we talked about at the beginning of the webinar, your hub is going to be your website. That's where everybody funnels into. If they're coming from social media, if they're coming from YouTube, if they're coming from Home Advisor, if they're coming from your Google Maps listing, if they're coming from your paid ads, they're going to look you up and then end up on your website. So, make sure your hub converts. So your website is the hub. And like I was saying, they're coming from all these different angles: Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. They're coming into your website. So your website needs to be good. It needs to be clean. It needs to be mobile responsive. It needs to have click-to-call phone numbers. It needs to have contact forms where it's really easy to get in touch with you. You can implement chat. There's a lot of different chat services out there that help people just communicate with you quickly. So one of our client websites, you can see, you got the trustworthy badge up top, certified company, ISA certified arborist. You got the phone number in the top right. 20 years service, get a free estimate right there at the top, right? So if somebody's looking to get an estimate, they don't really want to mess around. They're not beating around the bush, so to speak. They just want an estimate. They want somebody to come out and do the work. They're just going to pop in their information right here. You're going to have it. It's going to come right to your email, or you can have this text message to yourself. And you got to have it set up to convert when people show up. So a lot of those different elements we've went over, but you want the keywords and the page titles and the content. You want your logo in the top left. That's kind of like your identity. That's where people are going to see you on your social media, on your YouTube, everywhere. So you want your logo to be there where people can remember that. Not the most important, but it's pretty important. You want your phone number in the top right of the website. You want your social media channels where they can click on it, kind of see what you're up to over there. People do check that stuff out. So it's important that you post some updates on your social media and different things like that. satisfaction guaranteed, the contact form in the upper fold of the website, upper half of the top of the website. Conversion elements, you want clear calls to action. Give us a call now for a free estimate. For a free estimate, enter your information here. And there's just a lot of things that you want to make sure it's definitely mobile responsive. If it's not mobile responsive, you're going to miss out on a ton of leads. If people are finding your website already, you're going to miss out on a ton of leads if you don't have it mobile responsive. Because if people don't have a good experience and they're on a smartphone and they're on your website, they have to like scroll over to see part of the text, and they have to scroll this way to see the other part of the website. They're going to get frustrated and they're going to bounce off, and then they're just going to call a competitor who has a new modern website that converts. So some of those elements are going to be, does it speak to your target customer? Does it address their fears and frustrations and speak to why they should choose you? Does it have a real authentic images of your team? Not just stock photos, but pictures of you guys on the job, pictures of you maybe shaking a hand with a customer, pictures of your trucks with your logos on it, pictures or maybe even videos too. Videos are great to put on these websites. And you could also have a welcome video. Thank you so much for visiting our website here at XYZ Tree Service. We really would love to help you with a free estimate if you're looking for work. We've been in business over 25 years. We're actually on a job now, taking care of some work. So if we can help you, give us a call. Just anything like that just kind of shows who you are, that you're an actual person. All those things really help get more leads from the same amount of visitors that show up on your website, because they want to get to know you and they want to call you. Video explaining why someone should contact you versus the competition. Does it showcase your reviews? Do you have a section on there that shows your Facebook reviews, your Google reviews, all those different things? And does it make it easy for them to take action and get in contact with you? If you ask them a bunch of different times, it'll increase the amount of times that you do get leads. Phone number in the top right-hand corner. Are there calls to action on each page? Not just the home page, but every other page. Do you have a clickable phone number and a free estimate form on every single page? And then, you can add chat too. So if your website doesn't have some of these things, what 3 conversion elements will you implement on your existing website? And it may require you get with your current website person, website developer, to add some of these things on there, but I'm telling you, they make a big difference. If you're getting 200 visitors a month and your phone's not really ringing that much, you might want to look at what's on your website, because that could be causing those people to bounce off. So the takeaway is, like, what did you learn about the website? What did you notice? What would you like to share anything? If you'd like to share anything in the chat, like what do you have, or maybe what do you want to add on your existing website, to make it convert better? A lot of people are getting plenty of traffic. Their websites are just super, super old and basic, and people just don't call. They don't put their information in, once they find that client website. So it's really important that you get those things on there. So the next thing is just know and track your key performance indicators. If you know what's working, you can pour more gas on that and make it better. If you know what's not working and what's a dog, then you can turn that off. You can just stop doing it. So if you're not tracking those specific things, and that's why we provide really comprehensive reporting, because we want to know what's working. You want to know what's working, and you want to see that in a visual each month. So, you want to see, like, how many leads you got for the month, how much I invested in marketing for the month, average cost per lead. Those are really important. Where they came from. Did they come from organic search? Did they come from pay-per-click on Google, Bing, Yahoo? Did they come from my Google Maps? Did they come from the free estimate contact form on my website? And that's going to equal your total leads. So you want to know where all of those leads came from, so that you can make smart decisions moving forward about what to do more of or what to do less of. So far we've covered clear goals and targets for 2020, clarity around your market, your message, and your media. You got to get those things right. We've made sure our website is optimized for conversion. The click to call buttons, the get a free estimate forms, they need to be everywhere. We've set up a simple KPI tracking dashboard so you can kind of see how many leads you got. So let's build your 2020 plan. What do you want to accomplish this year? It's the beginning of the year. It's a perfect time to say, look, what I've been doing over the last year, 2 years, 3 years, it's got me to where I'm at today. I've been doing the same things. We are kind of moving along in our business. maybe you've hired some folks, maybe you've got some more equipment, need more revenue. And so you need to do some different things. You need to put some more lines in the water, like we talked about earlier. And so that would kind of go along with building out your 2020 plan. So your plan for 2020, I would say if you're able to take more calls and you guys are efficient at, writing down the caller's information and booking the appointments, you really up it. You really up your marketing and get more calls coming in. It's going to help your business tremendously. And even if you're booked up, it's really nice to be able to pick and choose what jobs you do. If somebody calls and they got a stump removal and that's really all they've got, maybe you're super busy, you don't really need to go on that job. But, if you're not, and you do go on the stump removal job, maybe they got other trees they want trimmed and you can turn that invoice into a larger invoice. So, having more and more and more leads coming in all the time, it just makes you better business person because you're going to be able to pick and choose what it is you want to do, what it is you don't want to do. And if you got a lot of folks, you're probably going to be able to handle it anyway. So it's the same that we've been talking about, the digital dominance method. All of it kind of goes along in the same. Your SEO, your PPC, your retargeting, paid online directories if you need more lead flow, repeat and referral business, pay per lead with Home Advisor and Thumbtack if you want more and more coming in. Now, I would say if you do these pay per leads with Home Advisor and Thumbtack, you need to make sure you got a good follow-up system because, they get hit so many times. You want to make sure you're following up with them a lot. Social media advertising, and a referral program for your existing clients. All of these things help bring in more business from every angle. And so, the first the first three, I would say, are the most important. But after that, these other ones help bring in more business too. So the key trends coming up for 2020, let's go over that real quick. Some of these things have kind of already been in effect, but there's some more trends that are coming up this year that you probably just want to be aware of and kind of know about. So the Google local service ads. I don't know if you've seen the Google local service ads, but if we go to, let's say this right here, let's say we do a search for tree service Atlanta. You see these Google guaranteed ads right here at the top. So these ads right here at the very, very top is what's called Google guaranteed. It takes about 2 to 3 months to get vetted, get processed with Google, but this is a trend and it's been up for a couple of years now in certain markets. And it's really only in some of the larger cities. It's not in every market. So if you're in a smaller, maybe a tier 2 city or a little bit lower, it may or may not be in your city. It's not everywhere, but this is a trend. And this is something that's a pay-per-call service with Google. This is the Google ads right below that. So you can see right below the Google guaranteed is the Google AdWords. It used to be called AdWords, now it's ads, but this is a trend, Google guaranteed. So I would say if it's in your market, it's worth exploring for sure because some of our clients are telling us that the leads are a little bit less expensive in the Google guaranteed section, but as more and more people continue to add themselves to it, it's probably going to get just as expensive as everything else. There's been a shift from phone conversion to message conversion. So if you are good at texting, you guys have a text app with your business line, that's really powerful because you can tell people, hey, I'm on the way. And a lot of these customer relationship management tools like Arbor Gold or Jobber, some of those have some of these built-in services, and it really helps you communicate with your clients. But you must have an all-in-one perspective, like, get your website right, your search engine optimization, your PPC right, your local service ads that I just showed you, the Google guaranteed, and your social media, YouTube, different things like that. All those things are going to help you get more calls. Google local services, actually just showed you a live example on Google right there for a search, but it's right there at the top of the page. It goes side to side, and then below that is going to be the traditional Google ads. The benefit of this is it shows up in your local market really well. The other Google ads will show up in a broader market. So if you need more calls, the other Google ads are going to be very beneficial too. But this is the same thing. It shows Google guaranteed, and that just means Google has vetted the business. They've confirmed their business license. It's not a spam business. It's not a lead generation company. It's an actual business. And so it's beneficial to get that badge, I think. If it's in your market, it's worth exploring. And where it's active is it's active coast to coast, but it's only in the larger markets. So it's not going to be active in every small market like I discussed a minute ago. It's really hard to tell because I've seen it in some of the secondary cities, and then other areas, the same size city, it's not available. So I think they're still kind of rolling it out, and I think the jury's still out as to whether they're going to keep it or if it's going to stay so far it's growing. It's in several different niches, not just tree service. But it's worth exploring if you see it in your market. And so that's how it impacts the search results. So it's at the very, very top, Google Home Service ads. And then you've got the Google AdWords right below that. And then you've got the Google Maps. So it's really important to be in the maps. So make sure you're working on those 5-star reviews, because one of the ranking factors is definitely getting consistent Google reviews and then responding to those reviews. So if you get a 5-star review, go respond. Thank you so much for your business. What we've learned as well is posting on your Google My Business map listing weekly, because the post expires after 7 days. So if you post on it once a week with a keyword like tree service in your city, hey, call for the best tree service in Atlanta, Georgia, call XYZ Tree Removal Company. Call today, and then have a nice photo, post on there once a week. And then when you respond to the reviews, also put a keyword in there too. Thanks so much for doing business with XYZ Tree Service. We were pleased to do your tree removal in Atlanta, Georgia. That's a keyword. So we've seen those little snippets show up in the search results. And I think they impact when Google shows your map listing more or less. So that's important too. And then right below the maps, you also want to have your website show up in those organic rankings right there. So feedback from active users on the Google Guaranteed pay-per-call is it's been, percentage-wise a little bit lower cost per lead than regular PPC is what we've heard and what we found and what we've seen. And they're definitely higher quality leads than HomeAdvisor, Thumbtack, stuff like that. Really because you're on the phone live with the caller. So as soon as they do the Google Guarantee, they see it, they see a result they want, XYZ Tree Service, okay, they have great reviews, and we call them. Your office is right on the phone with that caller looking for a tree service quote. Whereas, with HomeAdvisor or Thumbtack, they submit their information, and then you get an email or a text with the new lead, and then everybody's calling them at the same time. It's like throwing meat in the water with sharks, by your boat. It just doesn't really work that well. Everybody's going to be calling that lead at the same exact time. But with the Google Guaranteed, they're calling you directly, just like with Google AdWords. You're going to get that call directly. So it may cost a little bit more per lead than HomeAdvisor, but at the same time, it's a better quality lead, and you're on the phone live with the caller. So you can kind of build that relationship better, quicker, because you're on the phone with the customer. You're still going to get some price shoppers, and you got to follow up quickly with those if they call and you missed the call. But there's been a solid return on investment for most of the clients who jumped on, the Google Guaranteed. So I think it's good. I think it's worth investigating, worth exploring in your local market. So what you should do now, if you want to check it out, is get with your strategy partner if you have a web guy or whatever, or you can just go directly to Google. If you're with us already, you can just get with our team, and we'll get yourself invited to the AdWords local services. Here's the link for it. You could also do a Google search for Google Guaranteed local services, or just Google Guaranteed, and then you'll see the link that you can click on to sign up. And pretty much they're going to send you this long form that you got to fill out about your business, and then you're going to submit it, and you're going to go back and forth for a month or two, and then they're going to finally approve it. But they're going to have background checks, and you want the tracking to be in place so you can gauge the return on investment with that avenue. Be sure you're leveraging the platform to close jobs and updates and things like that. And I would say just get on there and play the game with Google Guaranteed while the return on investment makes sense. So since it's still kind of new, year or two old, it's still generating pretty good quality leads for a decent cost. But the more and more tree contractors that get verified, of course, there's going to be more and more people in there. So it's going to start costing more per lead. So to kind of recap what we've already went over today, your plan for 2020 is all 8 of these spokes on the wheel. And I don't want to be redundant or sound like a broken record, but it really is important to have all of these lines in the water. Your website built to convert, SEO to where you show up high in those search results in the organic and the maps. Your pay-per-click marketing needs to be dialed in. There's a lot to the pay-per-click marketing with Google. We could do a whole webinar on that, which I've already done actually. It's on the webinar. We did one a couple of months ago about Google pay-per-click. But it's pretty intense, and there's a lot of negative keywords you got to watch out for with Google pay-per-click. Number 3 is the retargeting. Number 4 is paid online directories. If you need more lead flow, and then repeat and referral business, email marketing, social media, pay per lead with HomeAdvisor, Thumbtack, social media advertising. So we can do retargeting on Facebook or do some ads on Facebook offering certain discounts if they sign up through that ad. Referral programs, gift cards, newsletters, send people to the local football game or baseball game or basketball game if they refer a customer, things like that. So this stuff really, really works. And the case study that we went over earlier, we'll just recap that one again. So 2018, after implementing all of these 8 spokes on the wheel, went from 20 calls per month in 2018 to over 80 calls per month in 2019, and over $1 million annual increase in revenue. And what this is failing to mention is the increase in referrals you're going to get as well. So if your business grows like that and you're getting all these leads coming in from all these different channels from marketing on the internet, you're going to get more referrals too, because you're going to help somebody that found you from Google pay-per-click. You're going to go out and do a job for them, and they're going to talk that, maybe you did a great job for them and refer you to maybe a neighbor or a friend or a family member. So those referrals aren't even tagged in here. It's just, these are just the calls that directly came from the marketing. On pace to do $2 million this past year, and they expanded, pretty much doubled their crew, 6 guys to 12 guys, and the confidence that they have a consistent, sustainable lead flow. So if you implement all of these things, it's the difference between you growing or kind of staying the same if you've been doing the same thing. So build your custom plan. This is an opportunity just to kind of build your own custom plan. So if your website is it properly optimized for search? You have the titles correct, H1 headers, your meta tags, the content on your website, is it about your city and the tree service keywords in your city? If that's what it's all written about, then it's optimized for your local market. But there's 5 or 6 elements in the SEO settings of your website that you need to have dialed in correctly so Google knows exactly what your website's about. Does it rank on page 1 for your most important tree service keywords? Is your website optimized for conversions? Does it get calls? Does it get free estimate forms filled out really often? Is it mobile friendly? Are you consistently creating new content like blog content, different things like that where people know it's updated? And just different things people want to read about, tree care related topics. Have you optimized it for the Google Maps? Google Maps has a lot of different things you can optimize with your photos, your description in there. You can fill out every single one of the elements in the info tab to make sure it's highly optimized. Are you active on social media? Are you leveraging email marketing? I can't stress this enough, guys. If you guys have a huge database of customers already, if you don't, it's okay. Start now. Start compiling your list of name, phone number, email. I mean, address is good too because you can send people direct mail, but make sure you get their name, phone, and email, because you can literally take all of those emails of all those people. You want to make sure you scrub the email list first to make sure they're not going to bounce back, because it's going to mess up your email address if you send everybody an email and 10% of them bounce. You don't want that to happen. But email marketing helps people call you that you've already spoken with in the past or already done business with in the past. It's really powerful. So that's very important. It's a really inexpensive service we offer for our clients because it really works and it's very important. Are you taking advantage of paid online marketing, Google ads, Bing ads, different things like that? And you have tracking in place already. If you have tracking in place, you can make smart decisions on what to do more of and what to do less of. So what are your top 3 internet marketing initiatives that you want to implement to hit your 2020 goal? It could be, hey, I want to implement email marketing this year. I've got this huge database, this huge spreadsheet of customers, but I don't know what to do with it. Or it could be, I want to start doing paid ads. It seems like we're showing up pretty high with our website, but we're not doing any paid ads, and we service a 30-mile radius. Let's do some paid ads. So whatever that looks like for you. Everybody's is going to be a little bit different. But that's where you would write that down and just kind of, take action on that. So the takeaways for today, what did you learn today? What did you notice? Is there anything different that maybe you didn't know about before the webinar? What would you like to share? If there's anything you want to share, or if you have a question, you can just punch it into the chat box. I can kind of go over a couple of questions and answers if you have anything like that. If not, that's fine too. But don't be thinking you can't post a question, because I'm sure several other people have got the same question if you do. So to recap today, we have covered set goals for 2020. You don't know where you're going, you're probably not going to get there. How many leads to hit your target? So break that down by how many calls and web forms you need filled out to hit your target. The 3 fundamentals to marketing success, how to optimize your website for conversion in 2020 and beyond. These things are going to be the same for years, with your website. If people find your website, they got to know how to get in touch with you pretty quick. The big picture of all the online marketing channels you should be tapping into to maximize your lead flow and just get calls coming in from all these different angles, multiple lines in the water. The latest trends that you must be aware of in 2020, and that's that Google local services, different text messaging items that you want to have in place if you want to really maximize your communication with people and convert more of those folks. Some people just don't want to talk on the phone for whatever reason. They just want to text. Developed a custom action plan based on where you are now and what you need to do now to make 2020 your best year yet, to get that marketing coming in. Help. Would you like some help? Of course, we offer help. We work with tree service contractors exclusively. You can post help in the chat box. It's anonymous. Nobody's going to know that you're posting that. And then we can get together after the webinar here. So let's talk. If you have any questions or if you want to book an appointment, you can call me directly at 770-637-3707, or you can go to our website, treeservicedigital.com/schedule. It's an easy little schedule. It's got a calendar right there, and you can just pick a day, pick a time, and we'll be there. We'll show up when you book the appointment, kind of like what the customers are looking for, right? They're looking for a tree contractor to show up whenever they book an appointment. We'll do the same for you. And we'll research your business beforehand so we kind of know, where you're at right now. We'll kind of look at your online presence, and we'll have some different things to talk about once we get on the call. So for those of you that stuck around, we've got the free checklist for you. So here's how to get a list of the ultimate internet marketing checklist for tree service contractors. And some of you guys may already have it. I'm not sure. But if you want a copy of it, it's just our website /free checklist. So, or free dash checklist. So it's treeservicedigital.com /free dash checklist. And if you want, I can just email it to you. Or if you wanted to pop in your email address in the chat box, we'll pretty much, we can just email it right over to you. And Sam asked, could you go over what you could provide for what pricing? And so we have different pricing tiers depending on the package that you go over. So, really the goal would be to talk to you individually, specifically, customize a plan directly for your business, just so we kind of know what you're looking to do first. Our plan is comprehensive, so it's basically your website, your search engine optimization, your map listing optimization, your paid ads, your retargeting, and then social media and email marketing if you wanted to add that. Those are kind of the 5 to 6 services that we would provide for you. But the pricing is going to be dependent upon what exactly it is that you want, as far as your local market, kind of where you're at with your business, those types of things. But good question. I mean, just really depends on kind of your business, where it's at, what you want to do. But it's treeservicedigital.com /free dash checklist. And that's where you can download, or it's on the homepage of treeservicedigital.com towards the bottom. But what some of our clients have to say, Wes and Tree Service Digital are total professionals and gave us critical advice on SEO and increasing our web presence. His non-sales approach with his level of expertise are real assets to our business and truly appreciate it. Thanks for that testimonial. Appreciate it, Charles. And then Tyler says, Wes and his team are top-notch and professional. They provide outstanding website building and SEO services. My company is steadily growing thanks to the constant hard work these guys continue to deliver. SEO services took about 60 to 90 days to start kicking in. However, when it did, it truly made a difference. Great team. So yeah, let's talk, guys. Let's talk. You guys want to talk about your marketing plan specifically? Happy to get on a call and give you our undivided attention on your business, what it's going to take to get you where you're at today, and then moving on to where you want to go. So you can give me a call at 770-637-3707, or you can book a call, book an appointment at treeservicedigital.com schedule. Let's see if we got a few more questions here. Got a website currently and want to use it, but want for Google Ads, can you work so they can interact? Yeah, of course. I mean, if you've already got a website, we can certainly use that. We just got to make sure it's got all the conversion elements on it already. So if you've got a website that you really like and you don't want to, get a new one, our package comes with a new one. But if you don't want a new website, that's fine. We just got to make sure it's got your click to call buttons on there. It's got the pre-estimate contact forms on there so that if we do increase the traffic to your website, more people are finding it, you want to make sure that it's easy for them to get in touch with you, because there's really no reason in increasing the traffic or getting better search results if your website doesn't convert very well, if that makes sense. We want, when people show up, we want them to call, or we want them to put their information in the pre-estimate form or the contact form. So yeah, absolutely, we can take a look at your website. If we can work with it, hey, that's fine with us. It's no problem. Oh, Ian, yeah, appreciate you joining us today. Thanks a lot for being here. All right, guys. Well, if you have any other questions, just shoot me an email back. Otherwise, have a really, really good weekend, and we will talk to you next time. All right. Have a good day, guys. Bye bye.